Great to see you again, Councillor Perks.
Great to see you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, councillors, Deputy Mayor, councillors of the Sub-Budget Committee. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak today. My name is Anamika Wade. I am the Executive Director of the Toronto Alliance for the Performing Arts, or TAPA. While TAPA is not funded directly through the city's budget, the artists, producers, and organizations we serve are profoundly shaped by the decisions made in this room. I want to begin by saying thank you. We are genuinely grateful for the city's continued investment in arts and culture, including the proposed $2 million increase to the Toronto Arts Council. That investment, it really truly matters, and we are already seeing its impact across the sector. What I am here to speak to today is the importance of maintaining and supporting future increases, including those that consider inflation for both the Toronto Arts Council and the local arts service organizations, or LASSOs, funded by the city. The Mayor has rightfully framed this budget around affordability, sustainability, mobility, and safety. From where I sit, recognizing and supporting an inflationary increase aligns directly with all of these priorities. Artists are residents and workers in this city. They pay rent, take transit, raise families, and contribute to the life of their neighborhoods. Yet many are being priced out of Toronto at the same time the city is relying on them more than ever to animate public spaces, support tourism, and define Toronto's cultural identity, particularly as we look towards FIFA in 2026. When operation funding does not keep pace with inflation, organizations are forced to absorb rising costs. That doesn't show up as a line item. It shows up as fewer contracts for artists, scaled back programming, and growing burnout for staff. This is not a theoretical concern. It's already happening. 90% of TAC funding goes straight to the artists and arts organizations. Excluding funding for inflationary adjustments creates an imbalance, especially when the TAC and the LASSOs are core partners in delivering the city's own cultural plan. I would like to encourage Council to consider the long view. Implementation follows investment, as we all know. If the city is asking arts organizations to collaborate, innovate, and deliver public value, the resources must be in place to support that work. We see the impact of stable funding every day in festivals like the Toronto Fringe, where modest public investments enables mentorship, audience development, collaboration, and local economic activity. These ecosystems do not thrive by accident. They rely on predictable, sustainable support. Finally, I want to underscore that the arts sector is ready. As many of you saw during Arts Week at City Hall in October, when I got to meet with Councillor Perks personally, artists are already representing Toronto with energy and pride, and we are so eager to do more. Inflationary increases help ensure that when the city calls on us, we are there to answer. This ask comes from a place of partnership. The arts sector wants the city to succeed, and we are already doing the work in neighborhoods, in communities, and on the ground with artists who live here. As the city looks ahead to FIFA, to the full implementation of its culture plan, and to building a more affordable and sustainable Toronto, I hope Council will continue to see artists and arts organizations as true partners in that work. Budgeting for future inflationary increases is a practical, achievable step to ensure the sector remains resilient, responsive, and ready when the city calls on us. Thank you for your time and your continued commitment to a vibrant cultural life for Toronto. I'd also like to introduce Mike Scott. He is the General Manager of Theatre Gargantua and one of my TAPA board members. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks. Are there any questions for Anamika before we go to Mike? No? Anamika, thanks as always.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, Mike, you're up. Top that.
Good morning, and thank you for your time this morning. As Annemieke said, I'm Mike Scott. I'm the General Manager of Theatre Gargantua and a member of the Board of Directors of the Toronto Alliance for the Performing Arts. I've also, over more decades than I might care to admit, had the opportunity to work with many small arts organizations who work with the local arts services organizations from Etobicoke to Scarborough, and I know the importance and value of local arts programming. And by local, I don't just mean Toronto arts programming, but local to the individual neighborhoods that are the heart of the city. Many of my arts colleagues today have talked to you about numbers and statistics to support our arguments, and I would like to speak to you in language I'm more familiar with in the arts and tell you some stories. Theatre Gargantua this year is a direct recipient of the benefits of the investment that City Council placed in the arts last year when they increased the Toronto Arts Council budget. For the first time in almost a decade, we've received an increase to our annual operating grant from the Toronto Arts Council. And when you look at our budget, particularly after this year when we, like so many others, have faced incredible budgetary pressures, this has taken a bit of the edge off for the coming year. When you look at our budget, the vast majority of the money in our budget goes directly to salaries and fees for arts and arts workers. So that money goes directly back into city building by supporting Toronto residents, not just in the art that we produce, but directly and financially to the people who are producing it. Echoing what Annemieke has said, the importance of inflationary increases as well is to be considered. We have received the same amount from the Toronto Arts Council for nearly a decade. It has not been cut. It has been the same number. But because it has not increased with the budget, our budget, until recently, it's effectively been stretched further and further every year, almost as if it was being cut. And so the long-term game is very, very important. And we are very grateful that the 10-year plan is in place, and I encourage you all to continue to support it because it is a valued and greatly appreciated investment in our city building. At this particular moment in time, as we face direct threats to our national cultural sovereignty, and as we prepare to host the world with FIFA this summer in Toronto, having that ability to tell Toronto stories, to tell Canadian stories is more important than ever. This year, I had the opportunity to take the voices of Toronto artists across Ontario and in fact across Canada to share the stories that they are telling. And it is through the investment that is being made in Toronto artists that we are able to do that work and share those stories. Increased investment in arts and culture is fully aligned with the city's arts and culture plan and with stated priorities around economic resilience, affordability, and quality of life. I encourage you to continue to think of arts funding as not just a cost center, but an investment multiplier that brings back more to the city than we spend.